What is up, PCP Army? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome to Rockin Robbie Live here on a Sunday night. Happy Hanukkah. It's like, what, the fifth night of Hanukkah? Something like that. So station, everybody. By the way, we got Perry in the house, Herminio in the house, Colonel Angus, Tacky, James, Ken, Travis, Tacky. I already said Tacky. Mars Comics says hello to everyone in the chat. I've heard real good things about the show. Can't wait. I hope we can live up to that, everybody. That's up to you, PCP Army. This show is driven by your questions, your thoughts, your concerns, whatever you want to talk about, throw it out. We got a great show planned for tonight, though. Let me tell you something. We'll be talking about the best comic books of last week. We'll be taking a look at this upcoming week's new comics, including a sneak peek at my thoughts on the DC Comics for this upcoming week. We'll be talking about those Star Wars and those Marvel announcements, you know, those pesky little things. We have a comic book-related top 5. We got a Marvel in the 90s segment. And we got some exciting show and tell. So, what is up, everybody in the PCP Army? I hope you had a great week since we last saw each other, which wasn't too long ago for some of us. How is everybody doing? We got Fable in the house, everybody. How are you doing? We got Bobby, Agent X, Jay. Can someone please fill me in on Station? Feel like the guy who stands around awkwardly during an inside joke. Station comes from the Bill and Ted franchise, most notably in part 2 with the character of Station. And it became a phrase in the film, and then it was used a little bit in Bill and Ted Face the Music, and the PCP Army has embraced Station. So that's what's up with Station. What's up, Tony? Hitman. How you doing, my man? We got to get you on a movie review soon, again. Maybe into something not quite so horrific. Something you might actually enjoy a little bit more. What's up, Perry, by the way? You down for Gremlins? By the way, Perry, I'll message you. Doesn't matter. How y'all doing? I do want to say, before we get into everything, you can follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and on Instagram. And if you're on Facebook, you might as well join the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. It's a lot of fun in there, I guarantee it. A movie poll will be coming at the end of the month, right after our Festivus stream. Because our Festivus stream is where we're going to be coming up with the movies for the poll. For our first audience poll award winner, which will be in January. So, all that and more. So join the PCP Army officially on Facebook if you're there. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie. You can find podcasts and more at PopCulturePhilosophers.com. And you can support the channel with a super chat tonight, by the way. If we hit $25 in super chats, I read Savage Avengers, and we talk about it next week on Rockin Robbie Live. So there you go. That's a goal. That's a goal for us. And then you can also support the channel at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine patrons right here. We really do appreciate you, the generals of the PCP Army. Station. And there you go. We got some excitement coming up here on the channel. You know, we spent so long this year talking about horror movies for Halloween, for Horror Fest, right? So it's nice to bring back the movie reviews for the end of the year and do a couple weeks, change up the pace, and focus on some nice, wholesome Christmas movies. This week, Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Time, here on Pop Culture Philosophers, we're talking about Gremlins, my all-time favorite Christmas movie, a live review for Gremlins coming up Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Time. The following night on Dylan's Comics, we'll be talking about Krampus, which I'm watching for the first time this week. I'm very excited. We had a fun time last night on Dylan's Comics talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 1 and 2. And of course, speaking of Dylan, don't forget Dylan's Horror Show with co-host Rockin Robbie. Hey, that's me. It starts Saturdays, January 9th, 2021. Dylan's Comics is launching into Dylan's Horror Show, and I could not be more excited for my man. And let's give him a big old station. But all right, now that all that's done, now we can get into the show. And we always start the show with the first six items of my collection to show off. We're going through my Blu-ray section. We're now in the G's, so let's get on with it. Get Out is the first movie displayed this evening. Get Out's a great film by Jordan Peele. I just recently picked it up like a few months ago. So I still haven't even opened it. Then we got Ghostbusters. Really love this slip cover there for Ghostbusters. It's kind of psychedelic and wild. You got to have Ghostbusters. I don't have part 2, though. But here is Gladiator, another one of my favorite movies. I absolutely adored this movie when it first came out in theaters and cheered it on as it led its way to the Best Picture nomination and winning Best Picture at the Academy Awards in the year 2000. Then we got my Godfather set. That's the Coppola restoration. It's got Godfather 1, 2, and 3. Big fan of the Godfather film, so I just recently picked this one up. That's the Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone. This is the recut, the re-edit, definitive version by Francis Ford Coppola of The Godfather. So this is a re-edit of part 3. But I haven't watched it yet, but I hear good things, so I'm really excited. And finally, in the finals, or the first 6, Gone in 60 Seconds. That may be, if you can see a theme in my Blu-ray collection so far, and then Gone in 60 Seconds kind of sticks out. Why? Because I just fucking love this movie, y'all. This movie just really, I love this movie. It's really dumb and stupid at times, but I freaking love it. It may, in fact, be my favorite Nicolas Cage movie. So that was the first 6. Everybody, woo! Every time I see a station, I feel like I gotta just do something, you know? I love how it's overtaken. I love now, like, there are moments Friday night during the Black Christmas review where a station popped up or J Street did station, and then everybody would just go station, and it was great. And then you see it from people like Jim and Bob from Everything Comics, and Bueller even occasionally can get coerced into a station. It's really great. By the way, I'm the closest I am to Bueller I ever have been, because he's down in Florida. No coffee and comic show tomorrow, just so everyone knows, because he's in Florida. No Thunderdome this week either. I'll tell you what, y'all. We are 1 point away from winning Thunderdome. Bueller's Thunderdome, 1 point. We're at 49 points, PCP Army. That means we just got to win one more week. And then Bueller goes on vacation. That's just the way it goes, isn't it? Just the way it goes. So what do y'all want to talk about? This show is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, and all that stuff. We got plans, obviously, but it doesn't have anything. It just loses life without you. Now, I saw a lot of football talk, so that's nice. Hey, Cowboys won. Woo. I don't know if the Cowboys winning right now is necessarily a good thing, because we probably just dropped out of a top 5 draft pick because we won today. So there you go. However, if you lose to the Bengals in a year like this, whatever. I didn't even watch the game. I couldn't watch the game, but I did pay attention a little bit towards the end. Put it on this YouTube streamer I watch. Cowboys this year. Football's over. You know, it's a disappointing Auburn season, even though we had a winning season technically. We'll get a bowl game, but still, it was kind of disappointing. It's been a disappointing few years, and today we got the news they fired Gus Malzahn, the Auburn Tigers coach. So, there you go. It seemed like it was going to happen one of these years if it kept going like this. But, who knows? I don't know who to... I prefer Spartacus to Gladiator. Well, Tacky, that's easy to say because that's Kubrick film. But then again, you're comparing Kubrick to Scott. And so who did a better job at that kind of epic? Well, Kubrick did a great job. But I don't know, man. I have to rewatch Spartacus. But man, I really, really like Gladiator. That's a hard choice. See, Bruce, right there. Robbie, the Cowboys, what the F? He just gave up 3rd pick of the draft by besting the Bengals. When the Cowboys win, they lose. I know, man. It happens. Mike McCarthy station. I don't know if I can station that, my man. Here's the crazy thing. Is that I thought Beyond Thunderdome, if I won Thunderdome, then I'm done. Like, I'm out of Thunderdome. It's over. Bueller was on a live stream the other day. He was like, no, we'll bring in new people. And Robbie will defend his title. I'm like, oh, man, we got to keep doing this. But I guess that's what Thunderdome is. You win, you stay in there, right? You kick everybody else out, you kill everybody else off. And I think Jim's going to be involved in round 2. So if we win, and, it seems like we're going to win, but a lot of craziness could happen between here and there. But Jim's coming out for us, PCP Army, and we can't let Jim and the Geminites defeat the PCP Army, because I really feel like we're more dedicated. I think we're more lifers, We're in this to win it. We're PCP for life. We're PCP Army. And we'll do it. I'm sure I saw Spartacus first too, because it was made before Gladiator. I saw it when I was in high school, so obviously that would be before Gladiator. A Gladiator's got a special place for me though. I worked at the movie theater then, and there was a 4th of July, and I had to work, and there was like nothing going on. Like I had to work during the family stuff, so that kind of sucked. And so I worked, and at the end of my shift, I went and I just got some free popcorn and some soda, and I sat down and watched Gladiator. And it may be one of the first movies I really sat down and watched by myself fully. Probably not, though. Working in the theater, that kind of happened a lot. But, I don't know. It was really wild. And it was on 4th of July, and then we could hear the fireworks because we had a minor league baseball team, the Huntsville Stars, and they played at Joe Davis Stadium, which was right behind the movie theater. And then it was just... And it was loud, and it was fun. It was during a battle scene, and it felt like extra. It was pretty cool. It was pretty dope. Pretty dope memory. Bo Jackson. I stationed for Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, station. He probably would have been even more one of the absolute greats in either of those sports if he just chose one. Hey, basketball's starting back up. We got the preseason action going on, so that's pretty cool. That Thunderdome guy better come back to Bueller's videos for season 2. I agree. I like that guy. I don't think Bueller realized what he was getting himself into when he started Thunderdome. Yep, Tacky says it. Yeah, Jim said he could take PCP out. Yeah, he may be the Jay-Z of comics, but it doesn't matter. We're the PCP Army. And we are dedicated for life. Brad says, I made the mistake of watching Silent Night, Deadly Night parts 1 and 2 back to back, and then I watched y'all's review this morning. Yeah, isn't that funny? Well, those guys really like that movie more than me, both of them, but especially part 2. Part 2 has bits that I could enjoy, but yeah, I would never watch them back to back. It's definitely an alternating thing, is what I would say. You watch one year, and the next year you watch the other, and it's almost like you're watching the original every year, because they literally show you all the money shots, all the kills, all the nudity, everything that you would probably want to see if you want to rewatch this film, aside from the atmosphere of, the actual pace of the film, which I think is far superior than all of that. But it has like all the money shots in it. So yeah, that's a garbage day. What the fuck? Wait, Brooks had never even seen a single Silent Night, Deadly Night movie. Didn't even know that garbage day thing was connected. Or, I didn't realize it was connected. And then I showed it to Brooks. I was like, yeah, we're watching Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. And he goes, you mean garbage day? So even he knew that before. And he had never seen any of those films. I just know that one day soon, not soon, but one day around Christmas time, we're definitely going to be doing a franchise review of this. I feel it. And am I looking forward to that? Probably. Yeah, we're talking the Kirk Douglas Spartacus. Unless Tacky was talking about the Stars show, which I didn't assume he was. I thought he was talking about the Douglas film. Well, whatever. I told all my friends that Spartacus was better, so we started watching. Then Toby Curtis started singing. The movie got ribbed so bad, had to turn it off. Okay. What's up, Brett? How you doing? Our man Brett's got his first official comic book cover coming out soon. I'm very excited for that. I gotta get me a copy of that. Hang it on the wall. Maybe one day I can meet Brett and get him to sign it for me. You win almost all the YouTube games. PCP got your back. They got my back, but they didn't have my back in comic gories. I'll tell you that. Kid and Play losing that goddamn World's Finest Omnibus that Jim never read. That still pisses me off. That still bothers me. It still just feels like the ultimate failure of my YouTube career so far. Just losing comic gories to Jim Mint. He'll always hold that over me. But I think we're winning Thunderdome this one. But I want to win. I want to keep winning. Why not? And I hate how Bueller started. When he first started Thunderdome, I just want everybody to know this. Bueller told me, "Oh, what is your most anticipated book of the week?" Right? Now he's telling everybody this is our picks of the week. But we have to give them our picks of the week on Sunday or Monday before we read these books. So it's not necessarily the pick of the week. I want to tell you guys this, though. This is how dedicated I am to not just winning events like Thunderdome and beyond and whatnot, but dedicated to the true, honest nature of the PCP Army. So think about this. One of the only weeks of Thunderdome that I didn't place and make points in was a week that I picked Bill and Ted Are Doomed #1. Now, I knew that would not be a strong choice for what Thunderdome was, where everybody picks on the most anticipated book of the week, right? But I had to go with my gut, and I had to do it for Chris and Ed. So, you know how it goes. That's how true we are to what we do. Hell yeah, Ace. Exactly. I used to work at next to a theater. I got off work, go to a movie. It was enjoyable. Yeah, in the theater we worked at, there was a bar right outside of it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to drink at the time, but I had plenty of friends that were of age, and we would just party. It was just a party parking lot when we would get off work, especially on the weekends. It was fun. And watching movies for free with no other audience, just you and your homies, is great. Twitch says, my wife from the next room. Why am I hearing about money shots in there? Because we were talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night. Brad says, I love part 1. I've seen it several times, but watching part 2 right after was rough. I will watch part 2 again, but I'll have to give it... Yeah, absolutely, Brad, 100%. It was excruciating for me. Brett says, agreed with you about Spider-Man. I just want a good Spider-Man story. I don't need all the extra. Brett, are we talking about the comic book or are we talking about the movie? Because we could talk about that. Spider-Man 3. I did say on the weekly pop culture wrap-up, which has it's back to Saturday mornings. It's going to stay on Saturday mornings. There's no way. There's no way I could do the show with Dylan, which I'm very excited about. Dylan's horror show every Saturday night. And also film the weekly pop culture wrap-up, edit it, and get it ready for Sunday morning. So we're moving it back, and Friday I have time to do it. And yeah, so weekly pop culture wrap-up is now on Saturday, which I guess makes more sense because it's the end of the week, but whatever. So be aware of that. What was the whole point of even saying that? Oh yeah, Spider-Man. I said in there that I would talk about the Spider-Man thing. This is my problem with Spider-Man, and we had somebody we had some inside information possibly be revealed to us through an unknown source. That they're not going full on Spider-Verse yet. These are just cameos, possibly setting up the idea of leading into some Spider-Verse shenanigans, and how this is all tied into some multiversal type stuff that gets started in WandaVision and leads into the Doctor Strange movie, right? Which Sam Raimi's a part of, and that kind of makes sense, right? If he wants to do the multiverse, he's going to put his Spider-Man stuff in it. And it would be unfair not to put the Garfield stuff in there or whatever. And then, of course, Sony just sees Spider-Verse and they see dollar signs. So there you go. But that sounds fine, but just let the damn movie breathe. Let Tom Holland, let his saga breathe. This is our chance to have like a good 4 to 5 to 6 movie run of a singular Spider-Man story being told on film. And with extra stuff in all the other movies that he's a part of, like the Avengers and all that, right? So, Civil War, like that's awesome. That's really cool to actually have that. To have Spider-Man run the distance like say a Batman or a Superman, or even go beyond that, right? That'd be cool. That'd be really great. And I just don't want them to put too much in there too soon. That's all. And I'm talking about throwing in Alfred Molina as Doc Ock and bringing back the Mary Jane and the Gwen Stacy, like Emma Stone and Kirsten Dunst. And I don't know. I just don't want them to go too far and overextend themselves and not focus on the MCU Spidey and cement this and continue on. But we're always in danger of Sony and Marvel not working together anymore. So, yeah, you never know, man. Tom got robbed worse. I don't know, man. Bueller out shit-talked him, man. Bueller just eviscerated him verbally. It was crazy. I haven't seen Tenet yet, Kid and Puke. I plan on watching it this week. I got to watch Gremlins again, and I got to watch Krampus. But Tenet's another one that I was really planning on watching this week. Ricky says, I'm a bit late, but just read King in Black. What a dope read. Yeah, I really, really liked it. Star Wars is going hard with the new releases. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. Travis says, loving all the Star Wars news. Gonzo's stoked for the Bad Batch. Hell yeah. Colonel Angus says, seen most of Tenet. Great action. Not sure if I like the reverse gimmick. Devo, Emma Stone is great to look at. They should bring her back. Bobby says, I'm in love with Mary Jane. A lot of people are. You just hit the jackpot, Tiger. Last dance with Mary Jane. One more time to kill the pain. Station for Tom Petty. Let's just station for Tom Petty. Bam. Station. See, those are the stations. That's what station's referring to. Those aliens. But it's a term that just means be excellent to each other and party on. PCP does sound like drugs. I know. Tacky says, Gwen or Mary Jane, I'll take Felicia. I'll take James Franco's Harry Osborn. How about that? We'll just even it out saying that, whether we mean it or not. What are you doing? You taking pictures of your friend Spider-Man? The bug? Yeah, I'm excited for the Willow. We'll have to definitely revisit Willow in a movie. Don't forget, movie reviews continuing this week. We got Gremlins Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Time on Pop Culture Philosophers. And then on Dylan's Comics Saturday night, Krampus. Lots of excitement. All right, everybody. It's time to talk about our favorite comic books of last week. What was your favorite comic book last week? What was your pick of the week? Well, my pick of the week was Homesick Pilots #1. So first of all, I want to know, what did you think of Homesick Pilots #1 if you read this? And I also want to know, what is your pick of the week? I love this book. It's got a really cool concept. It's about a haunted house. You can kind of think of it as a living haunted house that literally gets up and walks around. And it's about this young woman who's the lead singer of a punk rock band who is feeling a lot of isolation in her life. She winds up in this haunted house trying to scope it out maybe as a cool locale for a show. And she winds up getting kind of like joining up with the house and being trapped in the house. But there's a lot more going on. You get introduced to a lot of characters. You get introduced to the character of the house, the town, the punk scene. This is written by Dan Waters. He's part of the White Noise crew. And there's some of my favorite current writers right now. By the way, all 4 members of the writing crew, White Noise, Dan Waters, Ryan O'Sullivan, Alex Packnadell, and Ram V are going to have agreed to join us on the show in their each individual live chat in 2021. And I'm very, very excited to be chatting with all of these people, especially Dan Waters. Dan Waters usually does these really complex, dense, cerebral, and challenging comic books. Books like Coffin Bound, Deep Roots, Lucifer. Some really great work from Dan Waters. This is one of the most accessible #1 issues I've ever read from Dan Waters. So I think this will really widen out his audience. This has more mass appeal, I think. Caspar Wingard is the artist. The artwork is beautiful. The colors are just absolutely amazing. The characterizations by Dan Waters are spot on. Each of the characters has their own distinct personality, and they also at times maybe not be relatable, but they're definitely compelling, and to me, relatable in some sense. It's got a great twist towards the end. Like I said, the coloring in this book is absolutely amazing, and the lettering is done by Aditya Bidikar. Nuff said. This was by far my pick of the week. I want to know right now, what is your pick of the week, and what did you think of Homesick Pilots? So sound off, PCP Army, and I'll read your comments and we'll discuss them. I'm drinking my normal brew tonight. Straight to ale Monkey Knot. Got to get some kind of Christmas lager maybe for next week. Next week we're doing, I guess it's the last Rockin Robbie Live of the year. I think. Maybe. We'll see. There's plans brewing in my head about a New Year's Eve show. So we'll see. There goes Herminio talking about Amazing Spider-Man. So I asked you, what was your favorite comic book of last week? What was your pick of the week? And what did you think of Homesick Pilots? So let's see what everybody says. Kid and Puke says Mountainhead. Mountainhead was amazing. I think it made #3 on my top 10. What an amazing conclusion to this wild story that starts one way and then just keeps taking these twists and turns and winds up being this Lovecraftian uber body horror, wild, wacky romp almost. Like wild stuff, really cool stuff, great character beats, amazing art that is incredibly unique and then also immensely effective. So I really liked Mountainhead. Travis says Homesick Pilots #2 has a great cover. Yes, it does. Mars Comics says, I liked Homesick Pilots a lot. Was not what I was expecting. Hell yeah, brother. Station. We're sister. Brian says, haven't got to reading that one yet. So far, my favorite has been The Lords of Misery. That's the Eric Powell graphic novel, little kind of graphic novella, if you will. I didn't check that one out, but I do mean to. I do intend to. Weird, everybody was talking about Mary Jane, Chad, so then somebody said Last Dance with Mary Jane. It made me sing the song for a moment, and then we just stationed. Herminio with Amazing Spider-Man 54 and Strange Academy. Strange Academy, really solid issue, and actually not a bad issue of Amazing Spider-Man, but why dedicate an entire issue to this when you are already having the problem of extending your shit out way too long? Whatever. Taki says Juggernaut 4, solid issue by our homie Fabian, developer of Night Thrasher, co-creator of Deadpool as well. Devo says, I haven't read it yet, but picked up Last Ronin's second print. Super sick. Hope they make a movie out of it. That would be very interesting. I would be down to see a movie of it, especially seeing how the comic book progresses. Which, as you know, as predicted, is already late, so. Chad says, Venom. Venom. That is pretty solid. That was Bob's pick of the week. If you watched his video on Everything Comics, his pick of the week was Venom. It didn't even make my top 10. I thought it was a solid issue, but it was okay. It was like Venom kind of deal. It's like Donnie's taking the emotional ramifications of the story and all those dramatic beats from his run on Venom and pulling them out of King in Black and implanting them fully, maybe too much, into Venom. That's how I felt about it. But it was still a fine issue. And an interesting story idea which was to tell the story as he's falling. So that was cool. Tacky says Marauder 16. I loved that book. That was great. Kate and Emma getting their revenge on Sebastian, and it was not the revenge that I envisioned, But I'm very excited to see how the story is going to develop. Glitter and duct tape. Station, how are you doing? What are people's ideas on Avengers 39? Gonzo, my basic idea was that I thought it was a fine, decent issue. But to be honest, the idea that, is it supposed to be a big deal that the Phoenix is coming back for a new host? Because I've read this story multiple times, and I feel like I've read it just recently, kind of co-done by Jason Aaron. So I don't know why we're already getting to this, but then again, if you're building up the idea of these, the importance of these like totems, if you will, in the Marvel Universe, say whether it's the Spirit of Vengeance or the Iron Fist or the Sorcerer Supreme or whatnot, the Phoenix is one of them, and the Phoenix is currently not locked into a host. Maybe this is where Jason Aaron's going to expand out on his Quentin Quire being the host of the Phoenix idea. That would be interesting to me, and I'd be down with that. That'd be cool, but nothing's set up that character yet in his Avengers run, so I feel like it's going to be Avengers, and we've already seen that cover where it's a bunch of, like, I don't know. Is it just an excuse to sell more toys? Phoenix-infested Avengers? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Mars Comics says, my pick of the week was Strange Academy, still going strong. Marauders, close second. Fable says, Red Mother number 11. That was by far my number 2. It was so good. Taki liked the Lock and Key Sandman issue 0, which reprinted story, so I didn't even really consider it, but that was a solid issue, because those are solid comics, both of them. Eric says, this was a strong week for new and ending stories. Homesick Pilots and Red Mother were great, but Sword was a masterclass in first issues. Sword was really good and really, really surprised me. I was not thinking that that book was going to hit me as strong as it did, but it really, really did. And I'm still trying to piece together where they're going and what exact cosmic craziness was happening there at the end of that issue. Tacky says, Homesick? Not for me. That's fine. Ricky, we are doing a Marvel in the 90s tonight. It's planned for the 3rd segment. Cerebro said, Red Mother, baby. Hell yeah. Issue number 11 and 7, Secrets number 5. Both issues were really kicking up the pace of the story, really getting into some pretty weighty circumstances. Yeah, Herminio, there's one issue left of Red Mother. It comes out in January. And then there'll be a trade. There's already 2 trades out. There'll be 3 trades total. So hell yeah, just got to get them. Delirium Tremens usually puts out a nice holiday beer. Oh, I might have to look out for that. I used to really like that stuff back in the day. That and Chimay I would drink all the time. Zen Soundwave says, Marauders and Sword for me. The Red Mother and Homesick Pilots were great as well. Bobby says, haven't been to my LCS yet, but looking forward to crossover number 2. That was one of my disappointments of the week. I feel like for an issue 2, it really hit a slump. It kind of just got bogged down in some exposition, and I'm excited to see where it goes still, but it was kind of a disappointment for me as far as an issue 2 goes. Oh, the Traveling Wilburys are amazing. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I love you, Mary Jane. I like me some Rick James. The Phoenix will rise again. And again. And again. Bobby says, I know Station is Bill and Ted, but I can't help but think of Rocky 3 with James Brown talking about station to station. Hell yeah. So they have station to station. Hell yeah. Let's do it. We can tie it all together. For instance, Winger's song Battle Stations was not written for that, but it's played in the moment of the movie in which the stations are building the Bill and Ted robots, and that song makes me think of it, and every time we play it at work, we go, Battle Station! So, there you go. It's a synchronicity of stations across our multiverse, starting with a mistake of Chris and Ed, Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon. Chris Matheson was on the show, by the way. I did Rockin Robbie Live with Chris Matheson back in August. You definitely got to check that out. friend of the show, so we can say that. But yeah, stations everywhere. I heard Seven Secrets only has 1 issue left too. Yeah, I heard it was only 6 issues, but we'll see what happens. It may have only been intended for 6, but it feels like it's intended maybe to be a series of miniseries. But at the same time, Seven Secrets is well respected and critically well received, but it's not hit the sales or the peak of something like Something is Killing the Children, or even the licensed stuff like Power Rangers, or like things like Once and Future, or, you know, even the hype level of The Red Mother, where that book is just a critical darling. I have the Bogus Journey soundtrack on CD. What a great soundtrack, my man. God gave rock and roll to you, gave rock and roll to you, gave rock and roll to everyone. It's a great Kiss song. I got to see Kiss like a year and a half ago or something like that. I'm so glad I got to have that memory. Station for Mike Matthews for that. He's the reason I got to see Kiss. It's a Station Nation. Unearthed was really good this week. That book had been coming out like every... Yeah, I know. It's been coming out few and far between. That at this point, I got to trade weight it. And I feel bad because I am in issue number 2. So if I ever get to do a con, you know, kind of like Bueller got invited to that con. Now, of course, I'll be at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo in April. So you can make it down to Alabama for the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. And Unearthed number 2 is a book I am more than willing to sign. For free. My signatures are free. Station. Hell yeah. Billy, is this real? I don't know. I ask myself that every single day. Let's talk about something here. Let's talk about these Marvel announcements. Yo, was anybody expecting these crazy ass Marvel announcements like all back to back? Like I came on to the I went on to the PCP Army. I was like, damn, that's a lot of Star Wars news. And then all of a sudden this Marvel news started dropping. So let's talk about it real quick. Moon Knight confirmed. We already had that. But Ant-Man the Wasp, Quantumania. We know the title of it now, but still we know that it's there. And Jonathan Majors is playing Kang, of course. Secret Invasion was really exciting to me. A Nick Fury-led series based on Secret Invasion. Hawkeye, we've been getting lots of bits about Hailey Steinfeld. It looks great. I'm excited. Black Panther, they're not going to recast T'Challa. I think maybe they will going forward after that, but they're just not doing it for this movie. They're going to put their focus somewhere else. An Ironheart series, they cast it. Dominique something, I don't remember who she is. I don't really know her work, so I'm excited for that. Ironheart's an interesting character. Blade, finally confirmed as a movie. We already knew that was happening, but was confirmed that it's a movie and not a TV show. Speaking of TV shows, we got She-Hulk. Tatiana Maslany finally confirmed as Jennifer Walters, and we got Tim Roth returning as the Abomination, and Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. I Am Groot's going to be a series, like an animated series about Baby Groot. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special in 2022 around Christmas time. It's going to be written and directed by James Gunn. Very excited for that. Captain Marvel 2 will feature Monica Rambeau, I said Lambeau in my weekly pop culture wrap-up, and I feel ridiculously dumb, and Kamala Khan, so that's interesting. And Armor Wars, a War Machine TV series. I'm very, very excited for that. We also had the trailers for Loki, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I loved all that stuff. I really want to know, what was your favorite announcement? What did you think of those trailers? But what was your favorite thing? Mine was that What If trailer. That What If trailer blew me away. But I'm really pumped for Armor Wars. War Machine's one of my favorite Marvel characters. And I am so freaking excited that they're giving War Machine a TV series. I am pumped for that shit. Station Flaming Carrot. Herminio says, can't wait for Kate Bishop. Yeah, me neither. I'm really excited for that. Stefan says, Captain Marvel 2, the only way that'll be interesting is if it's a mini-event movie. I know a lot of people put hate on Captain Marvel. I think a lot of it also comes from this segment of people that they just don't like Brie Larson. Fine, whatever. I actually like that film. I don't really have an opinion on Brie Larson as a person. I don't know her, but I actually like that movie. At times, Carol in the books, I find compelling and captivating. At times, I find her kind of distant and too cold. In the movie, I didn't really feel that. I felt like it had this nice humorous touch to it. That she was badass, but she had this heart and this humor to her that I liked, and I really liked her chemistry with Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury. So I actually like Captain Marvel, so I'm excited to see them do more, especially bringing in Kamala and bringing in Monica. So I think that's going to be nifty and cool. But where do they go? And, she's not a character established so much where she's got like this expanded ass rogues gallery or nothing. But I'm excited to see what they'll do and to expand out on part 1. I liked it though. It felt 90s. It felt like, like it just felt like a 90s action film. And I actually liked the characters. I liked the humor in the movie. So I actually liked Captain Marvel. So I am excited for Captain Marvel too. Right now we're talking about the Marvel news of the week. Disney just dropping all this news. And we're talking about the Marvel ones right now. So what was your favorite announcement? What are you most looking forward to? That's what we're talking about. For me, I didn't really speak on this yet. Fantastic Four as well. John Watts. I love Homecoming. Far From Home's okay, but I like Homecoming a lot. And so I think John Watts has the potential within him that I've seen from Homecoming and a little bit in Far From Home, but in particular from Homecoming, to do something nice with Fantastic Four, and I am excited for that. I just want a good Fantastic Four film. I mean, I'll watch any Fantastic Four film at any time, pretty much. I'll watch them all. Corman, Story, Trank, throw it at me. I'll watch it. I don't give a shit. Solid Blood number 17 is a new random surprise pop-up book from Robert Kirkman. It's supposed to be a big tribute to 90s extremely extreme comic books. Devo says, I am in for She-Hulk. Love the old John Byrne run. John Byrne's run on She-Hulk is amazing. I got the omnibus. That's good stuff. Seems Disney's official stamp that movies won't be coming back. Well, some movie announcements, but mostly TV. But this is a new world they're leaning into. And even before the shutdowns of theaters, more people were getting into these streaming things. Like, people were more hype on things like, just like Umbrella Academy and remember like when Daredevil, like just people are into their streaming shows. Like right now, what is it? Queen's Gambit. So I don't know. We're in a different world right now, but even before the shutdowns and the COVID situation, there was already a decline in theater sales and people going there and people watching more stuff, more long form entertainment at their homes. Brian's excited for Willow. So that's cool. Eric says, if they don't bring back Sam Rockwell in Armor Wars, we riot. Eric, I want to see him return so much. He's one of my favorite parts of Iron Man 2 is his Justin Hammer. Sam Rockwell is an amazing actor. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. If you've never seen that, anybody out there, you got to watch that film. It's directed by George Clooney. Y'all know, one of my favorites. But it's such a great, great movie. It's based on a book that was written by, what's his name, Chuck Barris, the game show host, wrote a book, and the idea behind the book was that he was giving a confession that he was a CIA agent. At the same time, he was a successful game show host, and they made a movie out of it. And Sam Rockwell plays the main character. He plays the game show host. I think it's Chuck Barris. And man, what a great film! I love Sam Rockwell. He was even good in that first Charlie's Angels movie by McG was okay. The second one, though. Which one is he in? The first one he's in, right? It's the first one. He's not in the second one. Demi Moore's in the second one. Or I got it all twisted and mixed up. Whatever. What a random. I didn't even think tonight. Nobody, I would have bet cold hard cash on the fact that I would not bring up the McG Charlie Angels films tonight. But I did. Isn't that weird? Cerebro says, She-Hulk seems like it will be filled with cameos, which should be fun. I agree. Ricky says, Haley Steinfeld is an amazing actress. Have y'all seen True Grit? Yes, and she's awesome in it. And she was also great in Bumblebee. Yeah, I heard that she was in Bumblebee. Fable's excited for that Guardian special. Me too. Stephanie wants them to do MCU Thunderbolts. That would be really cool, but you got to introduce some more things. I want them to do. I saw it was a Billy doing his snowflake and safe space shit. His little bit there. I would like to see a new Warriors project, like for real. That would be so cool to me. Like Disney Plus would be something I think perfect for. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do the new Warriors, man. Night Thrasher, Firestar, Marvel Boy, Nova. Come on, come on, come on. Let's do it. Amorita, Speedball. Sure, Speedball. I'm not honestly the biggest Speedball fan, y'all. I love the new Warriors, but I'm not the biggest Speedball fan. Well, here's the thing, Tacky. I don't think Solid Blood number 17, it's kind of like Die, Die, Die. It's not something that we had to order. It's something that's just randomly like appearing and given to us based on orders on previous Kirkman books usually. Like I think Die, Die, Die was based on your order numbers for Oblivion Song or Outcast or something like that. So I'll speak on it when it comes in. It seems like it's just one of these random things. So it's happening. It's just one of those surprise books that Kirkman's been doing. Kind of like Die, Die, Die. We'll see how it goes, though. Oh, yes, this week. Well, we're about to get to looking at what's coming out this week. But still looking at what everybody's favorite thing to looking for. Badass and noble, but with constant quips. I don't know what you're referring to, Stefan, but I don't. She's is a blend of Iron Man and Cap. I mean, that's kind of Carol Danvers, to be honest with you. Like, when they really started exploring that character in the comic books, I mean, it was all right. So you had, I don't remember who created the character. I don't remember, but like Chris Claremont did some work with Captain Marvel, took her off the board for a while, and then she's here and there. But then when I first really became aware of the character, it was in the Kurt Busiek, George Perez Avengers run at the end of the 90s. And I knew who Captain Marvel was because of the Rogue situation. But that was really all I knew about the character. So she shows up and she's Warbird, and she deals with this. They do this whole like alcoholism arc that I thought was actually pretty fine. So she does already have a lot in common with Iron Man, and being a colonel, I believe in the military, in the Air Force, I think. I mean, she's got a lot to do with Cap as well. So she definitely is kind of a mixture of them, badass and noble, but with constant quips. Yeah. I mean, that is the character of Carol Danvers. And then Bendis took her on and brought her back to the Miss Marvel moniker. And then Kelly Sue DeConnick is the one that brought in with James McKelvey, right? I think that did the new suit, and when she becomes Captain Marvel officially. So the character's been up and down in her history for me as far as just interest and engagement. But, I mean, yeah, she is kind of a blend of Tony and Steve's personalities, but blending them together in a different way, because she's way more of a military brat than Steve Rogers is, because Steve Rogers, served in war, obviously, but like Carol is like lifelong military. You know what I'm saying? Like that's her. She's career military. And so she's even more into that than Cap seems. Now, she's not super rich like Tony, but she's got some of those personality traits that Tony has. That stem from, that's one of the reasons why I think it made a lot of sense for her to have a struggle with alcoholism. And I thought that was a strong story that got me interested in understanding who Carol Danvers was and her fight through that. And then Bendis picks that trail up from Busiek. And that's what leads the way for her really owning and coming full circle back to the hero that she should be with Captain Marvel. I just feel like sometimes, though, they don't really know what to do with her nowadays in the comic books. They don't really know what to do with her. And I feel like it's the same thing with Wonder Woman sometimes over at DC. They don't know what to do with her. And I don't have the answers, obviously, but it seems like they have a big problem with how do we do our number one A-star woman female character. It seems like both ones don't really quite know how to handle it to make it seem badass and relevant at the same time. So I don't know. We'll see. Fable says Blade. Yeah, very pumped for Blade. Ali's going to be great as Blade. I'm so pumped. Are they going to bring back Deacon Frost? Do you think that they could get yeah, hell yeah. Everybody's talking about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire coming back. What if they were like, yo, Steven Dorff's coming back to play Deacon Frost? I'd be like, hell yeah, man. And then Wesley Snipes shows up, and then Sticky Fingers shows up. Never forget Sticky Fingers. And then we have the blade of multiple universes in the Doctor Strange movie. now that's a Spider-Verse, You know, you see the Drake meme or the Geordie LaForge meme. It's like Spideyverse, Bladeverse. Yeah, hell yeah, Bladeverse. Someone make that meme and share it in the PCP Army. I would love it. If not, I'm going to make it. Stefan says, FF is exciting. Me too. A says, I like Captain Marvel. I think it should have been put different spot in the timeline. I like the 90s feel of the movie, but it makes it almost a struggle to make it fit with the current day. But it's what they're doing. Mars Comics like definitely Blade. Glitter and Duct Tapes is definitely FF. Jean-Claude says, Black Panther 2, hopefully they bring in Namor. That would be very cool and interesting. You know Doom's going to be showing up since they're doing Fantastic Four. Who's your pick? My pick was Oscar Isaac, but didn't they just cast him as someone? Or am I tripping? No, it was... I don't know. They did cast him as someone. I don't remember. I really like to see what direction they take with FF, young, old sci-fi humor. The last FF was unwatchable, but I watched the first two. Love me some Jessica Alba. I wouldn't say that the last one was unwatchable. I think the first hour of it's actually very solid. And I think the scene with Doom walking through the hallway is so fucking badass. I really do. I know a lot of people have a problem with it. Whatever. I think that scene of Doom walking through that hallway, just blowing up people's minds at will, was so fucking scary and badass. I loved it. But that movie sucks. That movie sucks pretty bad. The first hour of it's okay. Maybe the first 40 minutes. I don't know. Jesus. Y'all thirsty for Jessica Alba. Yeah, I love Confessions of Dangerous Minds. Hell yeah. Some of these comments. Yeah, she was binary at one point. That was the Chris Claremont stuff. I had to jump down. If I missed your comment, just throw it back out. Yeah, the Cobra Kai Season 3 trailer with all the crazy Marvel stuff. I forgot to even mention that on the Weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. That was dope as hell. What's up, Bake the Snake? How you doing? Station! Bake the Snake! What's up, my man? Or woman. I don't know. Who is this real? Gideon Falls is wrapping up. I don't know what week. I don't know yet. I don't stay that informed, actually. Tonight, when I look at what's coming up this week, will be the first time that I notice. Stefan says, touche, Robbie. I don't think it was horrible, but you said it best. They don't know what to do with her. Kelly Thompson's run has been pretty good, but it seems like there isn't a big picture. Says Tacky, I agree. That's why I kind of dropped out of it. Her Black Widow seems really good, though. And Kelly's a great creator. They did amazing work with Kate Bishop. And Jim and the Holograms. Yeah, the Blade verse. Love the Fargo movie and show. Do they have a comic? No comic book, but there's plenty of comic books that I could probably recommend if I thought about it hard enough. That would be Fargo-esque. Now, I've never watched the TV show, but I've seen the movie. But if you're looking for good crime fiction and comics, I would recommend Goldfish and Jinx and Torso, all by Bendis. This early work by Bendis. They're really, really good. There's a book called Nowheresville. I don't know how available it is, but that's really, really freaking good. What else? Stray Bullets and Murder Me Dead by David Lapham. Yeah. Where's it Lapham? Oscar Isaac was cast as Snake for Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. That seems I don't have any connection to that, so I'm cool with that. I think he would be a great Doctor Doom though, Oscar Isaac. He was cast as Moon Knight. That's what it was. Thank you, Bailey. That's what it was. That's what it was. He was cast as Moon Knight, or he was in talks for Moon Knight. That's right. That's right. Now we're catching up. Now we're catching up. You know, I never saw that Inhuman show. We still haven't seen New Mutants. So what's coming up this week in comic shops? Let's take a look real quick. Of course, if you want to know, the earliest you can know, especially the official list, or somewhat of an official list, here on YouTube, you can check out Bueller's videos, Comics with Bueller. He's a partner with us here at PCP. He's just a great friend. We love working together. Bueller's the best. I wish him a safe trip back to Portland, and I'm ready for Thunderdome to resume so the PCP Army can rise above and win round one of Thunderdome. And then make our way for the Geminites in season 2. And yeah, my fingers still say naughty a little bit from last night's Silent Night, Deadly Night movie review. Anyway, so you can check out Bueller's what's coming up this next week. Every Wednesday morning, he puts out a video of what's coming out the following Wednesday, and it's a great video and really, really fun. We're going to start with Image Comics. We have the 3rd trade paperback of Ascender. That's awesome. Big Girls, number 5. Bomb Queen, Trump Card, number 4. That's the final issue of that miniseries. Commanders in Crisis, number 3. I've been liking that one. Decorum returns with issue number 6. Finally. Gee. Headlopper, number 14, is out this week. Kick-Ass versus Hit Girl, number 2. Post-Americana, number 1. Savage Dragon 255, the Reckless hardcover. That's the new original graphic novel by Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker. 7 to Eternity, number 15. Walking Dead Deluxe, number 5. Stillwater, number 4. Great week for Image. From Dark Horse, we got Barbalian, Red Planet, number 2. And Cyberpunk 2077, Trauma Team, number 4. From IDW, we have Lock and Key, Impale Battalions Go, number 3. The final issue of that one. Star Trek Voyager, Seven's Reckoning, number 2. From Marvel Comics, we have Black Cat, number 1. It's going to be a King in Black tie-in. Same creative team, I think, before, at least the same writer. We have Captain America, number 26. Finally, a complete collection of the Winter Soldier, because it's been out of print for a while, so that's important. Hey, it's Bob from Everything Comics. Station, Bob. What's up? I saw a station signal and a bullseye, and I was like, Bob's in here. Bob, I watched your video earlier. Great stuff, great stuff. I'm glad you liked Homesick Pilots, homie. Deadpool number 9 is out this week from Marvel. We have Fantastic Four number 27. We'll see if they can continue the string of pretty decent issues of Fantastic Four. Immortal Hulk number 41. Iron Man number 4. Iron Man's wearing thin on me. King in Black, Immortal Hulk number 1. It's a one-shot tie-in. Magnificent Miss Marvel number 17. New Mutants number 14. Savage Avengers number 16. Don't forget, if we hit $25 tonight in Super Chats, right now we're at 0. But if we hit 25 tonight, I will be reading Savage Avengers this very week and talking about it next week on Rockin Robbie Live. Star Wars Darth Vader number 8 from Marvel Comics this week. Symbiote Spider-Man King in Black number 2. Taskmaster number 2. X-Force number 15. Wolverine Black, White, and Blood number 2. From Dynamite, let's see what's here. Deja Thoris number 9. Lots of covers. Dynamite number 3. Lots of covers. Killing Red Sonja number 5. Lots of covers. Vampirilla Red Sonja number 12. Lots of covers. From Boom Studios. Expanse number 1. I guess based on that sci-fi show, right? I hear really good things about it. Firefly number 24. Mega Man Fully Charged number 5. The penultimate issue. Once and Future number 14. Power Rangers number 2. We Only Find Them When They're Dead number 4. I almost forgot about that book. From other companies, we have American Ronin number 3 from AWA Upshot. We have Atlantis Wasn't Built for Tourists number 4 from Scout. Blade Runner 2029 number 1 from Titan. Concrete Jungle number 3 from Scout. Doctor Who Comics number 2, Hotline Miami Wildlife number 4, King Tank Girl number 2, Life is Strange, Partners in Time number 3, Machine Girl and the Space Invaders number 2, Miskatonic number 2, Rye number 10, Red Xmas, a new one from Scout Comics number 1, Resonant number 6, the start of the second story arc of Vault Comics' Resonant. I've already done an advanced review. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Sam and His Talking Gun number 1, Second Coming, Only Begotten Son. I'm very pumped for the second volume of Second Coming from Ahoy. Sarah and the Royal Stars number 10, that is the final issue. Stargazer number 4, Tarna Heavy Metal, that's a heavy metal book, number 1. The Vein number 3, and We Live number 3. DC Comics, don't worry, because in segment 2, we'll get to that. But we got a super chat from Twitch. Thank you so much, my man. With the $10 super chat, that means we got $15 to go. $15, and I read every single issue of Savage Avengers this week, and we talk about it next week. Thank you so much, my man, for that super chat. Three stations for 3 super chats. Oh my goodness. We got Twitch with $10. We got Mars Comics with $5. We got Bob from Everything Comics with $5. He says, get yourself a cold brew when you read Savage Avengers, bro. That brings us to $20. 5 more dollars, and it's a thing. But I gotta tell you about a friend of mine. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy, crushing beers on his forehead. You never know what he's gonna do, but there is Ken and Ryu. What can they do but understand what's going on? There is Blade, and he's excited, you know, because every snapper super chat goes towards his first appearance show. Now we're looking for some adventure. And we're looking for the fight of our lives. Thank you, Bob, Twitch, and Mr. Mars, yeah! You know how it goes. And we're rolling through, and then we're as long as we're able. There comes Cable. Huh! Well, that was a fun, energetic way to end segment 1, Block A. We are through Block A. Block 2 coming up. Block B, segment 2, whatever you want to call it. Block B, segment B, Block 2, whatever. 5 more dollars in super chats, and Savage Avengers is a thing that is happening. But last time we did a super chat funded watch and speak on, it was Hardcore Henry, and I had a lot of fun with that one. So there you go. Joe with the late-in pick of the week. Hell yeah, Batman Black and White, really solid book. Great artwork. Definitely in the tribute or in the level of the previous Black and White attempts. So, we're taking a quick break. This song is called Fight the Night. I don't have a Christmas song that the Basement Show ever did, but this is the coldest, most wintry song that we've ever done. It's called Fight the Night. We'll be right back here on Rockin Robbie Live. When we come back, we'll be doing the DC comic book sneak peek. We'll be talking about the Star Wars announcements. And we got a top 5. Dose.
be cool, but they still wanna bite. And I'm not a fool, so I know I gotta fight. Not to be cool if you're messing with my right. Then forget the wooden stick, I'm coming at you with a knife. Silver laced, and I know you can tell it. Skin's still burn, and I know you can smell it. Tools so effective that they want me to sell them. Now I got this new line of hate repellents. Take a step back, you blood-sucking leech. How you gonna bite once I knock out your teeth? With the cross by my side and the crescent on the rise, and the star in the sky to the day that I die. Look up at the sky as the bass hits, bro. That's when you find your replacement show. You're wrong, but you still gotta face it, though. We the new deal, we the basement show. Look up at the sky as the bass hits, bro. That's when you find your replacement show. You're wrong, but you still gotta face it, though. We the new deal, we the basement show.
Clouds are forming, storms are coming, now it's getting cold. Demons fighting, now they biting, when they get so bold. I see them never, and I'm scared this way we can't control. So shed some light, let's find the night, they can't have our soul.
Creeping and crawling in the middle of the night. The shadows used to fade into the pale moonlight. Could be your best friend, your own blood, even your wife. Like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, they drinking potions with inside. Spitting fiction, always tripping, tingle in a web of lies. Don't let them fool you with the copacetic side. The thirst will be a blood, you can see it in their eyes. You feel it in your gut, you think you shit out of luck. But the truth will set you free, I think I read that in a book. What doesn't kill us makes you strong, besides I just won't give a fuck. If you really think you fool me, guess again, your ass is history. Don't mess with me, I'll constantly annihilate, incinerate, obliterate, and vanish. Back where you came from, all your haters are afraid of me. Bloodthirsty motherfuckers getting wasted most precisely. In my white tee, yeah, what? I keep it clean.
Look up at the sky as the bass hits, bro. That's when you find your replacement show. You're wrong, but you still gotta face it, though. We the new deal, we the basement show. Look up at the sky as the bass hits, bro. That's when you find your replacement show. You're wrong, but you still gotta face it, though. We the new deal, we the basement show.
Clouds are forming, storms are coming, now it's getting cold. Demons fighting, now they biting, when they get so bold. I see them never, and I'm scared this fear we can't control. So shed some light, let's fight the night, they can't have our soul.
Like Lon Chaney, I'm a master in disguise, and I hypnotize and you're paralyzed. You try to get by with your fictions and lies. Would you sell your own soul for a slice of the pie? Now my eyes are on focus and it's plain to see. Rise to my levels where you wanna be. You try to hang around but you can't with me, and now you're switching sides like lycanthropy. You get no respect, you a flip-flopping bitch. Treat you like you are, you a pill-pop snitch. Cut you into pieces with my silver bullet spit. And you know that you're done before you even feel it hit. Even all man who is pure in heart says his prayers at night. May become a wolf with the wolf bane wounds, and the moon is full and bright. That's right. Look up at the sky as the bass hits, bro. That's when you find your replacement show. You're wrong, but you still gotta face it, though. We the new deal, we the basement show. Look up at the sky as the bass hits, bro. That's when you find your replacement show. You're wrong, but you still gotta face it, though. We the new deal, we the basement show.
Clouds are forming, storms are coming, now it's getting cold. Demons fighting, now they biting, when they get so bold. I see them never, I'm not scared this fear we can't control. So shed some light, let's fight the night, they cannot have our soul.
What's up, PCP Army? Welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live. I am Rockin Robbie Billups, your host here on Pop Culture Philosophers. Join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group, and if you're on Facebook, you might as well follow Pop Culture Philosophers. We're also on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. You can support the channel at patreon.com/PCP like these fine patrons right here. A long list. Now the names are way too small for me to even attempt to read, but many of a hearty station to go out to the patron supporters. Station. Over at Patreon, what happens is you get access to the audio-only version of the weekly comic book review hours before everybody else. In fact, that one day where I was having internet problems and I didn't get the weekly the weekly comic book review released until Wednesday morning, they already had access to it before my internet just took a shit. So it's available for just as little as $1 a day over at Patreon. Patreon.com/PCP. You can also support the channel with Super Chat, and if we hit $5 more tonight, Savage Avengers. I will read every single issue this week, and we'll chat about it next week on Rockin Robbie Live. Instead of doing a Marvel in the 90s, we'll do a Marvel in the 2020 Savage Avengers. Anyway, so thank you, everybody, for your level of support. You support the channel just by watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff. We just hit 9,000 subscribers, everybody. So PCP Army, you really got to give yourself a nice shout out right here in Station for the PCP Army, 9,000 strong. Hell yeah. Twitch, I have been thinking about that. I've been thinking about it, Twitch, how I'm going to try to pronounce your last name. Well, here's the thing. A little known fact, I was training at some point to be a possible preacher at some point in my life, and there are a lot of names in the Bible that are difficult to pronounce and have many different ways that people say them and whatnot, right? So, there's that, right? But then, what we were told was just say it like you know how to say it. So, that's what I'm going to do with your last name, Twitch, is I'm just going to say it like I know how to say it. And feel free to to correct me. 9K. That's right. We're on our way to 10K right now. Let's see how quick we can get it. Because some projections are saying we won't hit it till April, but I think we'll hit it way quicker than that, PCP Army. All because of you. And we got a super chat from Tacky. $2 super chat. It's $1.99, but we'll round up. That means $3 more. And Savage Avengers is a thing. All right, $3 more and Savage Avengers is a thing. But we got some excitement coming up here. We talked about what comic books were coming up in the next week. But we didn't talk about DC yet because I pretty much already read them all. There's a Scooby-Doo book out this week that I didn't read. So aside from that, here's the DC comic book sneak peek for the week. First up, we got Amethyst number 6. This is the final issue. I'm kind of glad this is the final issue because as much as I love Amethyst, and it's got this nostalgic place in my heart because I love the original series stuff from the 80s throughout, this has been kind of dull, kind of boring, kind of not super, super exciting to me. But I will still have now every single issue of Amethyst. We got Jim Mint in the house. Station, Jim Mint. Next up, we got Aquaman. Aquaman number 66. This is part 4. Yes, part 4 of Endless Winter. This is probably one of the best of these Endless Winter tie-in type things. I don't know. It's a decent Aquaman story, but it's just like all the others. There's a little bit of actual like backstory of the Frost King and what builds up to it. And then there's just a typical Aquaman story. So it's just okay. Then we got Justice League issue 58, part 5 of Endless Winter. Same thing, but with Jon Stewart. But it does kind of bring the team back together towards the end. The artwork's pretty decent. But once again, it tells us a little bit of the story. But then it just gives us just a little bit, a meaningless bit. Like, it just no significance. It's like, these are like tie-ins built into the damn story. And you do have to read them because it gives you information on the Frost King. Same with the Teen Titans special. Part 6 of Endless Winter. I was completely bored by all the Titan stuff, to be honest with you. But the Frost King bits, like, they're telling his origin, his story in the past, concurrently with what they're doing right now. And it's just a bit lackluster. We got Nightwing number 77 here. So why am I still reading Nightwing? Because why the hell not? I mean, it's been decent enough. They're kind of spinning out into a new direction. Obviously, now we got Future State coming, and then probably a new direction after that. So this may be the final issue of... This is the final issue of Nightwing before Future State. Yes, it is. It's a nice little, like, Christmas theme story. Run-of-the-mill, one-and-done type thing. It's nothing super impressive, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. We have the Green Lantern, Season 2, number 10. This book was pretty wild and fun. Liam Sharp's artwork is just the best ever. It's great. You got Grant Morrison really playing with alternate reality versions of Star Sapphire and Green Lantern and pitting them against each other. And you have this crazy multi-crisis thing kind of rising above, simmering in the background, and it's fun and wild. And, this is one of my favorite issues of Bendis' Superman. It's Superman 28. It's one of my favorites because it's the fucking last issue. This is Bendis' final issue of Superman. Now, he still has one more issue of Action Comics, so don't get too excited. But as much as I love Bendis, and I even recommended him hardcore earlier in the show, we were talking about crime fiction comics. Seriously, Bendis can be one of the greatest writers out there. But not with Superman. His Superman run has been dull. It's been boring. It's been overwrought. It's been too preachy. It's just been ridiculous. But he's teamed up with one of the best artists. So Ivan Reis's artwork is absolutely amazing. But the story's so stupid. Even the way it ends. So this is his final statement. It's so overly sentimental. And I get it. Bendis is still a great writer. But he's just not vibing with Superman. Not for me. Not for most of us. This is the final issue. And damned, I'm happy. Then we got another Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Crisis on Infinite Earths. I haven't really been too into the second wave of these books, but I really, really like this one. This one's pretty cool. So with these are what if issues. So they're like dark takes, alternate takes on events in the DC universe. This one's based on Crisis on Infinite Earths. And the basic idea is, what if instead of Earth 1 being what they modeled the new Earth on, what if it was Earth 2? It was the Earth of the Justice Society. And it gets really dark and dank, and it's got some dank? This gets dank. But anyway, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Dark Multiverse. This was really fun. It's written by Steve Orlando. It is dark. It's got a lot of death in it. It's got a lot of misery. I had a lot of fun with this one. I thought it was pretty solid. Great artwork by Mike Perkins. At times, it seems a little bit wonky. But if you start thinking about how he's the next artist on Swamp Thing, it gets really exciting. But I like this story. I thought it was really cool. Justice Society fans, you might want to check that one out, but it's definitely going to be a dark, twisted take on things. But I liked it. Catwoman number 28, a Rom V issue, another really cool, like heist type thing with a twist, a nice, fun, light crime fiction story that things are building up. Selina's getting away with a lot right now, but it's not going to last for too long, and those things are still being built up. Ron B's doing a great job doing Catwoman the way Catwoman should be done. Then we have the final issue, The Batman's Grave. The final issue, The Batman's Grave, is one long, brutal fight scene, and that's something to be expected with the way that this book has been laid out. When you read it issue to issue like we have, me and Jim in particular, you can we've been saying this the whole time. This is going to read better in trade. And I think when you approach the ending of this, you're going to also feel that. Like, it's, definitely more probably well-read in trade. It has a rather abrupt ending. That is something that happens with Warren Ellis's work in the last few years. But The Batman's Grave was solid. It has the ending that we all knew was coming. But this is definitely something that reads better in trade. We'll say that. A lot of people that's going to be a fast, abrupt ass ending for a lot of people. Then we got Batman 105. This is the end of the whole Ghostmaker story. I guess Future State is next. There's an interesting setup here that I did not see coming. The ending of this Ghostmaker arc, I did not see coming. So it was interesting, and I thought it was cool, and I liked what it set up. So I thought it was pretty decent. Then we have Rorschach number 3. This is pretty dope. So in the second issue, it was the origin of the new Rorschach, and in this one, it's the origin of his new sidekick. And Tom King is making some commentary on certain things, but actually giving a lot of reasonings. Like he's exploring it further. He's not just casting judgment, right? There's something that's going on in here, but they explore it more deeply. I really like it. Jorge Fornes and Dave Stewart on the artwork. I thought that was super, super solid. And the final DC book we'll be talking about is going to be Death Metal. Number 6. This is the penultimate issue of Death Metal. I really, really liked it. This is the most dire the situation has been, and all that Scott Snyder has been doing since starting on Justice League is keep building up this situation up to this point. Now we have the hero's last stand. The Batman Who Laughs makes his final act, his final play, and it just starts erupting here, and it leads to a very satisfying ending. And also what Snyder's doing in it is wearing this damn Santa hat. It's messing with my headphones. But what Snyder's able to do is he's also being able to speak on the essence of comic books, on the essence of DC Comics, on the essence of continuity, and why story matters. And I think that's a really cool subtext to have. So that was our sneak peek at DC Comics for this week. So how are y'all doing out there? Now we're back. Jim Mint says, looks like it's going to be a light week for DC for me. Jim Mint says, so this is how Robbie knocks all the books out by Tuesday night. Well, I'm able to get to read the DC books earlier now. But that was not always the case. But it's why I read shit like Nightwing, because I get to read a little bit earlier. So that's always nice. But yeah. But you get shit before me. You get all the Image stuff before I do. So it balances out, Jim. Herminio says, I have 11 DCs on my list this week. Soon it'll be none. Damn, bro. Just for a couple months, though. What's up, Coffee Girl Espresso Guy? Oh, Robbie got the cheat codes. Don't think I got the cheat codes. Like I said, Jim gets plenty of shit before I do. We all got our things. Bueller gets all of his damn Marvel shit on Monday. And he can't even be bothered to read them sometimes. What a scrub Bueller can be. Hey, Flaming Carrot with Super Chat, $4. Guess what that means? We hit our goal. That means I have to read Savage Avengers this week, and we'll talk about it next Sunday night on Rockin Robbie Live. Thank you so much, Flaming Carrot. He says, excited for the penultimate issue of Death Metal. Me too. It was great. Jim Mint says he's ready for death metal to be over. Yeah, me too. I mean, it's been going on for a while, but I've had fun with it. I'm still loving it. That's just me. I'm loving the hell out of it. I love what it speaks on crisis. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Jim was asked if he was going to do a Thunderdome. And he's like, nah, man, don't want to start winning that every week. You know, even though he's talking shit the other day on Bueller's stream, being like, yeah, man, I know how to beat Robbie. That's right. That's right. We're winning Thunderdome season 1. 1 point away. Then Bueller goes on vacation. That Bueller guy. Eric says, we always talk about picks of the week. What about drops of the year? I don't know, man. When I drop them, I forget them. You drop them and forget them. That's what Dr. Dre told me to do. So that's what I do. Undiscovered Country, though, I think has actually been one of the most improved comic books of the year. Personally. I'm excited for some of the future state, though. Rom V doing Swamp Thing. That's exciting to me. I'm excited for Sean Lewis, Philip Kennedy Johnson get a hold of Superman. I'm excited for Dan Mora drawing Batman. That's going to be dope. Yeah, so I'm excited about those kind of things. So, yeah, there's plenty to be excited about. Yeah, Ed, Thunderdome works this way. Bueller asks us to pick the book that we are most anticipating, that we think is going to be the book of the week. And we let him know, and then he reveals our picks to the populace, and then they vote on what they think is the best pick. So there you go. I have not been reading Darth Vader. I dropped the Star Wars books. I am not the biggest Star Wars fan, to be honest with you. I think Star Wars is okay. I like the movies. I enjoy them. I think Mandalorian's dope. I like what Clone Wars I've seen. I like the movies for the most part. There are things I don't like about a lot of them, but, for the most part, I can enjoy Star Wars. But, I don't take it too seriously. But that leads us into the next topic of conversations, the Star Wars announcements. So right now, what is your favorite Star Wars announcement from this week? And I'll run them down. We have Star Wars Visions. It's going to be an animated series, different directors, different takes, different characters, different stories. Andor, based on that character it's live action based on the character from Rogue One. Lando is supposed to be a miniseries. Does it star Donald Glover? Not confirmed. We'll see. A droid show, or a droid story. It's going to be an animated film, C-3PO and R2-D2 and another droid on an adventure. Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, we already knew that was coming, but now we know it's got Hayden Christensen returning as Darth Vader, and it's going to be round 2 of Obi-Wan versus Anakin. Then we have Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic, set in the universe, we should say, of the Mandalorian. Star Wars Rogue Squadron, the next Star Wars film, directed by Patty Jenkins of Wonder Woman 1 and 1984. Star Wars The Bad Batch, spinning out of Clone Wars. And then we have Star Wars The Acolyte, set during the era of the High Republic, which I have just recently found out is basically the Old Republic. And then we have Star Wars Ahsoka, which is set in the Mandalorian timeline and, of course, is about Ahsoka, and I'm assuming stars Rosario Dawson. So what are you most excited for out of that announcement? Joe says Ahsoka. Hell yeah. Gonzo says Bad Batch. Travis says Andor. Jim Mint says Obi-Wan. That might be the one out of all this stuff that I'm most looking forward to, would be the Obi-Wan one. But they all sound cool. But like I said, it's not something that, the Marvel news was way more exciting for me, and we've already talked about that. That's why we put that in Block A. But it's still cool. I'm excited for the Ahsoka stuff. I wish that she was more involved in Mandalorian. I'm afraid. I like the Mandalorian, a lot. So I am afraid of them kind of splitting it out into 3 shows. I don't know. I don't want them to stretch Star Wars too thin, because it feels like they have a Disney has a way of doing that, doesn't they? So, you never know, right? Mars Comics says Andor. Travis says Ahsoka. Gonzo says animated, always killing it. Arminio says Ahsoka. Stefan says Star Wars Visions. That could be really cool. Twitch says Visions definitely what interests me the most because of the possibilities. Rare Mage says Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, maybe Rangers. Maybe. Ricky says Rogue Squadron. Shamaro Cinnamon, what's up, my man? Says Ahsoka and Andor. What's up, Philosopher? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. And you say Obi-Wan. Hell yeah. Is there an animated Ewok series from the 80s? Yeah. Isn't there? There's an animated droid. Is there? Yeah, there's the Ewoks one too, right? Jim Mint says Mando saved Star Wars. Yeah, but I'm just worried that they're like, we're going to take a break from Star Wars. Seems like we don't know what we're doing. Mandalorian's successful. Oh, we do know what we're doing. Blah, 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 blah. Is it too much too fast for the moment to last? I don't know you. I'm stumbling through. How do I get my head up off the tracks looking for a train? It's a little 311 for you. Station for 311 if you're a 311 fan. I am. One of my favorite bands. Off-White says, curious with shows within the Mando timeline. James says, Patty Jenkins doing Squadrons is a different combination that I think will be awesome. I know it's you, Tavian. I just wasn't trying to use your real name if you didn't want me to. I was trying to use your YouTube persona. Rare Mage is like, we don't talk about the Ewok series. Just like we don't talk about Blade 3. What? You mean the series with Sticky Fingers? Christopher says Rogue Squadron is promising to deliver the best dogfighting movie ever. I'm interested on that statement alone. Twitch says, I want Caravan of Courage and Battle for Endor on Disney+. Don't we all, my man? You bumped some Amber. It's mainstream, but I love it. Amber's all right. Amber's all right. Yeah, Stefan with Amber. Yeah, Amber's all right. That is a bit mainstream for 3. I mean, I like 311. I mean, they kind of got a style. They stick to it. They have fun with it, and they do it. And I fucking love it. And they're some of the best shows that ever go. Yeah, we do talk about the Blade TV show. Brother, we do talk about that. Because that's some good stuff. Get Tom Cruise involved in Squadron. He'll want to fly his own TIE fighter. His own X-Wing. Yeah, you know it. Twitch says, loved early 311. They've been hit or miss with me since From Chaos. I knew it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. You broke my heart. Oh, David Hatch is in here. Station. Everybody, we got to give David Hatch a real station. Everybody, station for David Hatch. Station. Thank you for being here, David. We do appreciate it. We're asking everybody what their favorite Star Wars announcement of the week was. Do you have one, David? I know you're a Star Wars fan, young man, aren't you? Are you? I don't know if you are, actually. Look at all those stations for David Hatch. Look at that, David. Look at that, David. Look at what you do. Waiting for the Mace Windu show announcement. Yo, I'm 100% a fan of the idea that Mace Windu's still alive and gonna show up. I'm cool with that. David says Andor is looking good to me. There you go. Isn't that one about the sister moon of the Ewoks? That's a joke. I know what it's about. Y'all crazy, man. Y'all crazy. All right, what do you want to talk about? While you, somebody give me a question. So just throw out a question, pop culture related question. Let's have a few more minutes of conversation before we get to the next bit here. And hey, Off-White Tim, thank you so much for the super chat. Says digging the vibes, looking forward to Wednesday. Me too, my man. Me too. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let me tell you about this anti-hero I know. His name is Venom. Crawling up the walls and he always got a call when he know that he's gonna come. And he don't mean to do anything mean. He just wants to keep his San Francisco streets clean. Or maybe sometimes he's in New York City. And you know that place isn't very pretty. All right, enough of that. Station. Thank you so much, Off-White Tim. There are too many motherfucking Sith in this motherfucking system. You got it. I got some weird horror movies. I bet you do, Joe. Probably weirder than me. I don't know about if you get the weirder than Dylan, though. Dylan's the master. That's why we're doing Dylan's Horror Show. Starting January 9th, 2021, most Saturdays. With me as the co-host. We're going to have a lot of fun on Dylan's Horror Show. But don't wait, because Friday Dylan will be joining us for a Gremlins movie review for a Christmas horror fest, if you will. And then the very next night, we're doing Krampus on Dylan's channel. So that's Friday night and Saturday night, Gremlins and Krampus. Be there or be Daddy-O. And you don't want to be like that. So there you go. Eric says, these chats crack me up. Well, thank you. Thoughts on Star Trek Discovery? I have only seen the first season, so I really can't. Yeah, Eric, a rectangle. You know, because that's what Uma Thurman's character does in Pulp Fiction. She actually makes a rectangle, doesn't she? Yeah, she does. She does. Oh, I need to get a Spidey thing swinging through the screen. I need to put a Spidey on there. Ricky says, is there going to be a Metal Gear Solid movie? Yeah. Didn't they just cast Oscar Isaac as Snake or whatever? Snake Plissken? No. I know it's not Snake Plissken. I know. I'm not that much of a 40-year-old nerd. Marco says, hey, TMNT has been pretty good. That's what I keep hearing. Are you a fan of Ralph Bashki films? My favorite is Wizards. Not familiar, Bobby. I have to check that out. Joe, I am also excited for Cobra Kai Season 3. Very, very excited. Yeah, they totally snuck that Marvel. Yeah. The Namor book? Yeah. Uh-huh. Bullshit. I ain't gonna keep reading that shit. What y'all trying to get me to do? Yeah, I know he's based on Snake Plissken. That's why I made the joke. Fable. I was there, young man. Weird stretch, bro. Weird stretch. Station. When in doubt, just hit the station button. When in doubt. All right. We got top 5 we're about to do. This was a top 5 suggested by a member of the PCP Army on Facebook. So, it was very disappointing that we didn't get an Eternals trailer. So we'll see when we finally do, but I am very excited for that. Very excited. You know we're going to get a live action Null. You know we're getting a live action Null. That's why people right now are telling like you should sell your Venom books. No. Because they're going to make it like Null's going to appear at the end in the post credits of Venom 2. You just wait. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. All right. So in the PCP Army on Facebook, sometimes I ask questions like, what top 5s do you want to see? And sometimes I answer them. And tonight's top 5 is based on that. So I present to you my top 5 favorite comic book writers. Now, I don't think this one's going to be too strange for many fans, longtime fans of the show. But at number 5, we have Warren Ellis. Now, I know there's a lot of stigma attached to his name nowadays, but I cannot deny that his work really speaks a lot to me. I love this cat as a writer. I think he's done some very sophisticated work. He's done some okay work, but he's done a lot of work that's affected me in a very personal way. My monumental must-read work from Warren Ellis would be Planetary. Definitely check that out. At number 4, Neil Gaiman. Now, Neil Gaiman is probably lower on this list than most people would put him because he hasn't written that many comic books compared to some of the other people on this list. But every time Neil Gaiman does write a comic book, it's pretty significant. He has a way to bring the sense of not just literature, but a tie to literature and to the past, the literature's past. It's just such a great connection to story as a whole. I absolutely love Neil Gaiman's work. Number 1 work from Neil Gaiman I would recommend, Sandman, obviously. At number 3, Jonathan Hickman. That's right, Jonathan Hickman. A new addition. He's pretty much the only new non-UK writer here on the list, but I think Jonathan Hickman is an amazing creator. He's got a bold vision for what comic books can be and what they can do. And he is constantly trying to innovate, whether it's Pax Romana and Nightly News with his infographics and his very stark sense of graphic design and the way that carries the story forward, or his superhero work like Fantastic Four, Secret Warriors, or his recent tenure over at X-Men where he's bringing it all together. Jonathan Hickman, to me, is a modern visionary and on my top 5 writers of all time right now for comic books. Monumental work, most recommended work from Jonathan Hickman would be East of West. At number 2, it's Alan Moore. Come on, y'all. Alan Moore is amazing. He is, like, seriously, until his later years, every comic book he touched turned to gold. It was absolutely amazing. Layered, dense storytelling, detailed scripts, amazing subtextual work, but also being able to polish up old superheroes and make them still feel relevant while at the same time speaking on their downfall and what they can possibly do to a human's personality. Now, in recent years, Alan Moore's kind of not necessarily become my favorite person at times, but I still have a lot of respect for his work. I still have a lot of respect for him as a person, as a magician. I think Alan Moore's work is monumental, and my favorite work, my most recommended work by Alan Moore would be Promethea. And at number 1 is, I see a lot of people already knew this one. At number 1 is Grant Morrison, y'all. Grant Morrison changed my life. Literally, he's my guru in a way. I love Grant Morrison. His work is so amazing to me. It speaks on so many levels, whether it's weird, crazy, esoteric type stuff like The Filth or Nameless or Annihilator, or whether it's more mainstream superhero work like his Batman run, JLA, and New X-Men. He finds a way to make it distinctively Morrison, to make it fun, to make it filled with ideas, to make it filled with meaning, to make it filled with hope, and to make it incredibly impactful. And this cat has really affected my life in a profound way. And my number 1 work from him would be the Invisibles. So that's my top 5 favorite comic book writers as of today. So I'll ask you, who's your favorite comic book writer right now? Who's your favorite comic book writer of all time? Someone said pick. There you go. Off-White says, dope list. Well, thank you. I know not many people were surprised by the Grant Morrison. I see a lot of people, Stefan's like, Grant Morrison. I know. It was asked, though. Tim says, love Planetary. Hell yeah, man. Planetary's great. Tacky knew Grant Morrison was coming. No, Ricky, nobody there has worked for Vault Comics. When I look at all time, I got to take it all into consideration. We got decades of comic book history, though most of my writers are from that British invasion in the 80s and 90s. Mars Comics says my number 1 is Jonathan Hickman. David Hatch says Carl Barks. Hell yeah. Flaming Carrot says Gmos. You know it. Off-White says Kate's right now. No, Frank Miller's not in my top 5 as a writer, no. He's probably in my top 20, though. Comic Book Therapy says James Tynion. Tacky says J.M. De Mateus. Travis says James Tynion. Stefan says Planetary. Everyone should read that. I agree. God Tank, what's up, my man? Faya says, much love, my PCP family. My favorite is James Tynion the 4th. Jean-Claude says, Kieran, Gillen, and Cates are my favorite right now. Bobby says, Stan the Manly. Fable says, all-time Chris Claremont, John Byrne combo, Tynion right now. Tim says, Jason Aaron is close. There you go. Twitch says, I've only gotten back into comics about a year ago and not sure about the order, but for me it would be Brian K. Vaughan, Jonathan Hickman, Donny Cates, James Tynion, and Tom Taylor. Herminio says, Peter David, Tom DeFalco, Kelly Thompson, Chris Claremont, Donny Cates. J.H. Rosa from Portugal, Station for Portugal. Rare Mage says, historically, maybe Jim Shooter, I like a lot. Of right now, at the moment, Scotty Young. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, y'all. We're about to take a quick break, but when we come back, guess what? There's a Marvel in the 90s segment, and there's show and tell, so we still have a lot of show to go. We got late offerings from James. He says, Robert Kirkman, doing great work right now on Firepower. Got a new one out this week. It wasn't listed on the image thing. They still think it's a surprise, huh? Interesting. Stefan says, I like Chuck Austin. We'll leave it at that. We'll be right back. Happy holidays, everybody. It is Hanukkah right now, and it's the holiday season. So I hope y'all are having a good time and having a good holiday season. We'll be right back here on Rockin Robbie Live. Welcome back, PCP Army, here to Rockin Robbie Live on Pop Culture Philosophers. I am Rockin Robbie Billups, here for the final and third segment of Rockin Robbie Live. Join us at patreon.com/PCP. You can support the channel there, unlock exclusive content like these fine people right here. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and if you're on Facebook, you might as well join the PCP Army. Make it official, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. If you're on Twitter, follow me there at the Rockin Robbie. And join us at popculturephilosophers.com for podcast, blogs, and a whole lot more. But thank you all for being here in this third and final segment of Rockin Robbie Live tonight, in which we have Marvel in the 90s and Show and Tell, and of course the final 9. But still lots of great conversation to have, so if you want to have a good conversation, go ahead and throw out some questions right now. In the meantime, join us, make your plans, Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Time, here on Pop Culture Philosophers for our live movie review and discussion on Gremlins. The next night, on Dylan's Comics, we'll have a live movie review and discussion on Krampus. Speaking of Dylan, Saturday, starting January 9th, 2021, join us for Dylan's Horror Show on Dylan's Comics with co-host Rockin Robbie. Hey, that's me. It's going to be a fun, great time. And station. Just station. For life. What's up, everybody? What do you want to talk about? I'm not good at that shit, so I just stop right now before I embarrass myself. Can you imagine being the writer that has to follow up Immortal Hulk? No, not at all. Immortal Hulk's had a lot of hype behind it. It's had its ups and downs. But yeah, so very excited for that. But who's going to have to follow that up, man? You got to do something different. I feel like the way that they're going to follow it up is to bring it more tied into the superheroic roots of the Marvel Universe. Is the first volume of Firepower only in trade? Yes, Gonzo. It's the Prelude. It's only available in trade paperback. They released the trade first. Yeah, they did it that way. Why? Who knows? What's up, Easy Reader? Steph and I really liked Remender's Uncanny X-Force. In fact, it's one of my favorite written Deadpool appearances in a book. But I really like it. It really does more work with the Age of Apocalypse than the Age of Apocalypse ever did with itself. And it does amazing work with Warren. Like, that's my Archangel story right there. That's the best Archangel story ever done. And I love the character of Archangel. I don't really like Angel, but I love Archangel. But that's the best Archangel story is in Uncanny X-Force. Great stuff. I do want to remind everybody real quick about Dylan's Horror Show. Be ready for it. Looks like we're having some issues right now. There's some bad weather in my area. Maybe that's a part of it. I don't know. Yeah, Joe Bennett at the top of his game in Immortal Hulk for real. Let's see. What's your favorite Punisher series? Ricky, good question. My favorite Punisher series is the Garth Ennis run with Steve Dillon. The original 12-issue series, but then I liked when they kind of did an ongoing, and then Ennis stayed on there longer than Dillon did. But that's probably my favorite. Greg Rucka's got a really good run on Punisher. I like the initial miniseries and that run shortly after. That's some fun, decent stuff too. But I also like the really weird, dumb stuff like Frankencastle and Sponisher, and when Frank Castle turns into a black man for a couple issues, weird things like that. Do you think Ice Cream Man's popularity is going to last? Do you think those books will still be valuable, say 5 years from now? Well, how long is Ice Cream Man going to last? We don't know. If Ice Cream Man is still around 5 years from now and still at the top of the game like it is, then yes. If there's a very successful adaptation that gets done on film or TV or something, yes. But if it wraps up, then over time, people will forget about it. It's the nature of the industry. So it seems like things really only super spike when they're hyped up, whether by word of mouth because it's a great book, or much more so the case when there's some kind of film or TV project involved. What is this new Haha series about? Is it worth picking up? Yes, David, it's definitely worth picking up. Why? Because it's written by the same writer, W. Maxwell Prince, from Ice Cream Man. And it's an anthology series. And each issue has a different artist. And so far, the artists named, like Vanessa Del Rey, they've been amazing artists. Gabriel Walta. I'm really excited for some of these artists coming on this book. But each issue is a one-and-done story about a clown. And knowing what Prince does on his work involving, say, Ice Cream Man, this could be something really, really special. Ricky says, Punisher War Journal. That's good stuff. Oh, yeah, we need to clarify. Volume 1 or Volume 2? Mad Fraction stuff or the 90s stuff? I have to clarify just a little bit, then. Just a little bit. What are y'all's favorite Punisher runs? King of Nowhere had an intriguing premise. Yeah, me too. I thought it was okay. Ice Cream Man seems to be like where he's shining right now. He's done other great work, though. But it was a really cool take, I think, on some things. I haven't seen the Punisher series. Mike06 says, nobody cared about Tales from the Crypt until it was a TV show. Well, there you go. Even Tales from the Crypt. Nobody cared about till it was a TV show. Herminia goes, Mike, stay! David says, first 5-issue miniseries when Zek drew Frank like he'd been kissing a speeding truck. Twitch says, never actually read a Punisher book. Every book I have with Punisher is either Daredevil or Spider-Man. You should check out the Garth Ennis one, Welcome Back, Frank. I recommend most people to start with that. How was the Punisher regular series? It was okay. Had it, like the one back in the day, the first volume, had its ups and downs. 2 kind of was bad, but I have a fondness for it. And then 3 is when we start getting into the Garth Ennis stuff. Edmondson had a decent run. Rucka had a really solid run. Clunan had a not so good run, in my opinion. And then we had the Rosenberg run. That was okay. Punisher Soviet was pretty good. Yeah, when Ennis gets on, it's pretty good. Carl Potts. Yeah, that's the original OG Punisher War Journal. Yeah, Zek's art is phenomenal. I have the graphic novel he did signed. So, that's cool. Easy Reader says Lemire is starting to spin his web of intrigue in Sweet Tooth. I'm ready. I'm already hooked again. Yeah, I've never read Sweet Tooth. The only issue I've ever read was The Return #1. But I have book 1 in there, but I don't know when I'm going to get to it because I got to finish up New X-Men this week and fit in Savage Avengers now. So there you go. No love for the Remender run. Like I said earlier, I like the odd moments in Frank's history. Like Frankencastle, that's Remender. I did have 2 Punisher Armory books back in the day, but that was just talking about the guns. Yeah, I remember those. That was a big deal back in the day, man. That really, really was. All right, y'all, it's time for everybody's favorite segment. I hope you're ready. for a holiday-themed Marvel in the 90s. Here we go. Marvel in the 90s. And today we're talking about the Marvel Holiday Special #1. Y'all, this is one of my absolute favorite comic books of all time. 1991. I'm like 10 years old. I ate this shit up. I loved it. First of all, you got this great great wraparound cover by Art Adams of the Marvel Universe against Santa Claus. Love it. The first story we have is an X-Men story. It's by Scott Lobdell. It's got Dave Cockrum on the artwork, which I think is pretty freaking cool. But it's set right before one of the issues, a famous issue of the Claremont Cockrum run. In it, the X-Men confront the Brotherhood of Mutants because they find out there's a new mutant. They're notified there's a new mutant. They're trying to confront it. So is the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Turns out it's Santa Claus. Santa Claus saves the day and turns the Brotherhood into toys and then zaps the X-Men away to their meeting with Scott and Jean and company at Rockefeller. So there you go. Then you got this Fantastic Four story by Walt Simonson and Arthur Adams. It's basically a Franklin Richards story in which he's out trying to find a gift for his father, but he runs across the ghost of Marley from Charles Dickens's A Christmas Carol. And he's locked up and he's about to fade away from existence. Franklin feels bad. He meets this woman. She says, this is a key that can open anything, but it will cost everything you have. So he gives up his last 50 cents, what he was going to use to buy his dad a gift. And he also has to give up a Christmas bulb that his mom bought him. And he winds up getting the key and freeing Marley. And that's pretty freaking cool. And then, a nice little wrap up, a nice little Fantastic Four tale. Then we go to a Punisher story. This one's pretty cool. You got Stephen Grant, you got Klaus Janson on the artwork. But you got these homeless people under this bridge, and it's rough. It's Halloween. It's sad. It's rough times. Punisher's hidden amongst them. There's some kind of drug or arms deal going on. He saves the day, blows them up, kills them all, and then all their money falls to these homeless people, these struggling people. And he says, let them have it. What do I care? Christmas comes when it comes. Really dark. There's a Thor story by Tom DeFalco and the great legend Sal Buscema. It's all right. It's about this dude named Sigurd who's coming home to his Norse village with food for the midwinter feast. Meanwhile, in Asgard, this troll shows up and says, I'm flinging an asteroid to Earth. Thor confronts it, destroys the asteroid. It becomes this beacon of light that causes Sigurd to be able to find his way home. And then we have Santa Claus show up. Okay, that's cool. Then we got this Captain America story. Really cool because it's got Ron Lim doing the artwork. Really like it. But in this story, Steve Rogers is volunteering at a veteran center, giving out food during Christmas, and he winds up meeting Bucky's sister. So then he goes to Bucky's sister's house while he is as Captain America, and he tells her that her long-lost brother was in fact Bucky, gives her a piece of his uniform. She then forces him to have Christmas dinner with the family. It's a nice little touch. This is by far my favorite story in the entire book. It's Howard Mackey, Joe Herbert. It's a Ghost Rider story. It's about this blind kid that gets kidnapped, and then he escapes his kidnappers, and he runs into Ghost Rider. But because of the dangling of the chains and the feel of the leathery boots, he thinks that Ghost Rider is Santa Claus. And then, of course, Ghost Rider defeats the bad guys, takes the kid back home, and the kid thinks it's Santa Claus the whole time. I love that story. Then we have a Captain Ultra story. Who's Captain Ultra? A much forgotten character that I think was from Marvel Comics Presents or whatever. Scott Lobdell did this one. It's goofy, though. He shows up. Everybody's excited. They're like, yo, it's an Avenger. He's like, yo, I'm not an Avenger. And then it turns out it was just Thor. He's a down-on-his-luck kind of superhero, goofy kind of guy. But there's a plant man involved, and he's stealing Christmas trees to make a point that they're depleting the ozone layer when they cut down all these trees. So then Captain Ultra makes a deal with them that they're going to replant trees for all the trees that are taken. And it has a nice little Captain Planet type ending. And then the final story is a Spider-Man story with the artwork by Ron Garney, Danny Fingeroth on the story. So J. Jonah Jameson is hosting this special event for children in this hospital. Spider-Man shows up, And then, of course, they have a problem. The kids want Spider-Man to stay. They're like, yo, Spider-Man saved my life. J. Jonah's like, no. And then all of a sudden, people are trying to rob this hospital for some reason. Spider-Man saves the day. And then he spends a little bit of time with the kids. And then he leaves. And then the kids are like, yo, J. Jonah Jameson, why don't you let Spider-Man just have a break? He's like, I will. At least until next year. But anyway, the Marvel Holiday Special. Really, really like this one. Love this book. So here's my original copy of it from when I was a kid. It is beat to hell. Very well read. Like I said, I love that that wraparound cover. We've got these like pinups in here too that are pretty freaking neat. So we got a Fantastic Four one. Let me show you. Right there. But little things like this I really, really like. So they did this for a few years. I have the 1993 one behind me. This came out in 1991. But I have a lot of fun with this. There's a Thor pinup right there. But it's nice that they're all Christmas themed. There's a really great Punisher pinup that I love. Like he's guarding the chimney full of gifts. There's a Captain America one that's cool because it's got Diamondback. Where's that one? Yeah, right there. With the Captain America shield at the top of the tree. But yeah, you know, I like it. I think it's super, super cool. Herminio says, I wish I still had my original copy. I do. I'm fortunate enough to still have it. If you're not, though, this is a very easy issue to find. I have a lot of fun with this. They did summer specials, winter specials, holiday specials. But this was the first, and this was so much fun. And I still love this, and I'm glad to cover it for this holiday edition of Marvel in the 90s. So there you go. Marvel in the 90s. That's the last one of the year, by the way, y'all. Arminio's like, I love this as a kid. David's like, I have that one. Bobby says, this is based on a true story. What? What, the Plant Man one? Which one? Man, that is a lot of stories. It's fun, though. It was great. At the time, it was $2.25, which was very expensive for the time, but it was big. It even has a spine. But it's got 8 stories, some pinups. It's definitely got to be like 65 to 70 pages. But I love these things. And yeah, like the Merry Multiverse, I like that they still do these kind of holiday specials and little goofy things like that. I wish Marvel did more of them like those ones. There's another one right there. There's the 93 one. This one's got a New Warrior story in it. This one's got a nice wraparound cover too. It's Santa Claus holding the entire Marvel Universe in his bag. But it's got a New Warrior story, which I love, obviously. I'll just let that sit there for a second. Yeah, there's a Punisher holiday special too. We should do that one next year. Awesome segment. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Yeah, Punisher, Silent Night. There's a couple of them, aren't there? All right, we're about to get to show and tell, but if you have any questions, get them right now. Let's get the conversation going just a little bit longer. Don't forget, Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Time, Gremlins live movie review here on the channel. Krampus, Saturday night on Dylan's Comics. Going to be lots of excitement. We got some nice stuff planned for show and tell tonight. We talked about the Marvel news. We talked about the Star Wars news. We talked about our favorite comic books of last week. We talked about the comic books coming out this week, including an in-depth look at the DC books. We had appearances from Jim Mint Collectibles. We had Bob from Everything Comics. This has been a fun Rockin Robbie Live, has it not? We had a Marvel in the 90s. We had a top 5. We had some great discussion tonight, Army. And now it's time for show and tell. So, first up, we're going to show off my Brave New World. I just recently picked this up from a thrift store because I just watched the show, completed it, the Grant Morrison-led show. Really liked it. So, very excited to actually finally read the book and see if there's just as much orgies in this one as there was in the TV show. Everybody's gotten a look at those upcoming crossover issues, and there's been spec now on Shogun Warriors. So I wanted to show off my Shogun Warriors #1 again. I have the entire run of Shogun Warriors, which I absolutely love. Hey, we got a super chat from Dragon saying slots. We ain't talking about food today. What food you want to talk about? Think about it. We'll be right back. Thank you for the super chat. Lately in the air fryer, it's all been about chicken nuggets. And what I've been doing is every time someone gets lunch at work or something, I'm like, what'd you get? They're like, oh, I'm getting McDonald's, or I'm getting Chick-fil-A, or I'm getting Wendy's. I'm like, yo, give me some Polynesian sauce. Give me some sweet and sour sauce. And I'm collecting sauces from people. And I've been making chicken nuggets in the air fryer. That's what I've been doing. I've been meal prepping again, doing my typical rice, beans, and chicken, that kind of thing. Broccoli, all that kind of stuff. But trying to watch a little bit more about what am I cooking for Sunday dinner? Well, tonight I am having a Totino's pizza, triple pepperoni, if you must know. So that's what I'm having tonight. Nothing fancy, but I am thinking about what I'm doing for Christmas. I don't want to do anything traditional. For Thanksgiving, I did turkey tacos. So what am I doing for my personal Christmas dinner this year? I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking hard. I want to do something. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to make a steak. Maybe I'll do a steak dinner for Christmas. Steak dinner, a little bit of wine, a cup of cheer. Have yourself a cup of cheer. Yeah, maybe. But I did try those Cheetos mac and cheese. Let me tell you my report on that real quick. I actually took pictures of them, but I didn't put them up here yet. But weird stretch. But the regular one, pretty good. The jalapeno cheddar one, really good. The flamin' hot one, not so good. But I'm not the biggest fan of the flavor of the flamin' hot, right? Like, not the spice level, but the flavor of it. So, I didn't really like that one as much. So there you go. Yeah, I think about doing a ribeye. I've been doing ribeyes in the air fryer. But I think I'd do it and go out with the sides, have a nice dessert, something like that. Maybe do it like a garlic butter for the ribeye. Still have some Shogun Warriors toys from my childhood. My dad bought them for me when we were in Japan during a trip. OG Shogun toys. That's super, super freaking cool. Very cool. I'm envious. Continuing on, not Shogun Warriors, but Power Rangers. Hey, look, it's a putty in package. And we're going to open it. So this is from the line that had the Automorphers, and they finally did this really badass line of villains that were on scale to go with the Automorphers. They weren't big, because the first wave of Power Ranger figures were big. So we're going to open this one up. This is a Z putty. So these are the ones that when you hit them in the Z, they fall apart. And that's exactly what this toy does. I love this toy. He's got a mace. He's got an axe. And that's cool. We'll worry about this at a later date. But there's that. But this is what we came to see. So you hit him in the chest, in the Z, and what happens? You ready? Man, one arm fell off. Oh, they all... You just got to move it around a little bit. It's an old toy. But yeah. I love this. I'd like to get a few more of these. I have another one that's loose, but he's missing something. I think he's missing an arm. But yeah. Why not? We're not opening this one up, but my buddy Brooks, y'all know Brooks. Brooks got me this for Christmas. I'm going to open this up on the Festivus stream. Very cool. Very cool. I'm going to once again show off this Iron Man that Mike got me, the Silver Centurion Iron Man, and say that we are definitely not going to be opening this in a post-credit sequence. And finally, let's talk about this. I haven't shown this off yet, and I haven't even really opened it up yet. We're not opening it fully tonight. But I do have this. Because I know that this came out a while ago, and some people were asking if I actually had this. And I do. And we're going to open up the outer shell of it right now. So y'all can see what is in here. Lord Draken Evo 3. Allegedly, this is from Beyond the Grid, but I didn't read all of Beyond the Grid yet. I have them all, but that was actually a brief time in which I stopped reading Power Ranger comics. Yeah, Mars, there are strong rumors that Robbie loves to do post-credit scenes in his live shows on Sunday nights. So we're going to pull this out so you can actually see what's in it. This is the first time I've actually pulled out. Just kidding. That's in there. I'm going to tell you that. That's in there. Push. Push. Get out. Push. Oh my goodness. Did I miss something? Jesus. I cannot get this thing out of here. What the hell is going on? Push. Does it have to go out this way? What the hell is going on? Is it like a push pop? What's going on? Why can't I not get this up? Y'all, I'm struggling. What is going on? Oh my God. What the hell? It just fell out. It fell out the bottom. Whatever. I guess it's open. Alright, here it is. Pretty dope. It's Lord Draken. His like ultimate suit. Badass lightning effects. Power Ranger helmets. What the hell? It's supposed to be in this thing. Within the thing. I couldn't. It just fell off the bottom. Okay. Whatever. There it is. Oh, Lord. But yeah, there you go. That's show and tell. Thank you for paying attention. David says my image of Robbie is shattered. I bet. Now it's time for the final 9. Final 9. We're going through my movie collection. We're still in the G's. We're going to hit the H's though. So next up, good night and good luck. If you've never seen this movie, it's amazing. Oh my goodness. This movie's amazing. We were talking about George Clooney directed films earlier with Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Here's one, Good Night, Good Luck. David Strathairn does such a great job. This is such a great movie. Then we got Goodfellas. There's my version of Goodfellas, 20th anniversary. It's one of these book things. So it's got this like gangster documentary that's really cool. It's got like this cool booklet that goes to it. And then it's got the movie there at the back. So Goodfellas. I got this monstrous version of Goonies. See how big that is? How much space it takes up? So that's my version of Goonies. Inside, you got all these booklets, you got the movie, and you got a board game. I've never played this board game. I want to get the PCP Army out sometime, or the PCP crew to play it, but there's a board game for the Goonies that's in this Blu-ray. Because why not, right? All right, it's about to get cringy. There's my Green Lantern in 3D. Yeah, the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. There you go. Yeah, Gladiator was in the first 6. Then we got Green Lantern Emerald Knights. I really like this one. It's a nice little short stories thing. Collection of short stories. Animated film. It's pretty solid. Green Lantern First Flight. We did a movie review of this one. I like this. This is better than this. But this is not in 3D. The 3D in that's really good. Then next up we have Gremlins. There's my copy of Gremlins. I do have a double feature of Gremlins 1 and 2 because it was like $5, and so I got it because I didn't have Gremlins 2 on Blu-ray. But Brooks has that right now because we're covering this, and it's got that cool foil cover. You see that? Look at that. Ooh. But we're covering this Friday night for the Gremlins review. Next up, Guardians of the Galaxy. Here's my version of it. I do not have Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So we are moving on to H's now for the final bit of the final 9. Here's my copy of Hairspray. Still with the used tag from the movie stop I used to work at. But Hairspray, I fucking love this film. I love musicals. You're going to see more musicals as this whole journey goes on. But Hairspray is one of my favorites. I fucking love it. So there you go. The final 9, everybody. The final 9. It is early, Herminio, but, you know, there's a lot of live streams coming. Trust me. Yeah. Good Night, Good Luck's in black and white, but it's great. Tomorrow's like, don't feel bad, homie. I cut myself unboxing on stream last night. That's messed up. It's not the Argento cut of Goonies, but I've heard it's really good. I still haven't seen Hamilton. And yes, that's the musical Hairspray, by the way, not the original John Waters version, just so y'all don't want to know. Ed's 38 still has not seen Gremlins. You got to watch it so you can watch our movie review with us this week. Herminio's like, I knew nothing of Green Lantern when the movie came out, so I enjoy the movie even though it's bad. Hairspray is good. It's good. Where's G.I. Joe the movie? Don't have it. Ricky, don't have it. Nope, don't have it. Don't have it. Purple Rain. Let's knock the damn headphones off my head. I'm not sleeping on Hamilton. I just haven't seen it yet. All right, y'all. It's time to dip out. I guarantee that there will not be a post-credit scene tonight once we open up that Iron Man figure. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Anyway, thank you so much, PCP Army, for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate it. We appreciate all the stations. We appreciate all the super chats. We appreciate all the support that we get from you. Thank you so much. We are dipping out. We'll be back next time. Thanks for rocking with us. Have a good one, y'all. We love you. You can't leave. She won't let you. Speaking of Christmas, y'all, these North Pole Nutty Buddies are life. Oh my God. I have never had these. I saw them at the grocery store the other day. I had to get them. They are infectiously delicious. These things are freaking great. They're like the typical Nutty Buddies, you know, the peanut butter wafer chocolate thing, but it's white chocolate. It's got the green, not the green, but the red stripe. It's Christmas. They don't come in those big 2-packs with the big pieces. They're like little tiny. There's only 10 of them. They make you feel like a piggy, but these things are so freaking amazing. So amazing. They're so good. So we're going to open up this Iron Man figure. Now, I've already pre-cut it because I didn't want any kind of fiasco to happen like we had with the Lord Draken figure. I'm going to pull it open from the side. Now, I love this Iron Man Silver Centurion armor. This was the Iron Man. This is what the Iron Man armor looked like when I first read my first Iron Man comic. It was around like the early 200s or something. Let's see if we can get it posed in a good way. Maybe use some of the effects here. It's got all these cool effects. Now this came from Mike the Voice Matthews. He was gracious enough, I should say, to donate this to the studio. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Iron Man, Silver Centurion. Boom. Great toy. Classic era of Iron Man that I love oh so much. And the cool thing is, I think you can put these on his feet. And it looks like he's pretty dope. I like it. It's going to go nice with that War Machine. Hit him in the Z. It is what it is. Y'all have a good one. We're out. Station!